Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a happy Wednesday to you all. There's been a bunch of stuff that's dropped today, but I am currently in the middle of working on stuff for my the first class of my PhD program at the moment. But I know this drop happened today, and I need to get around to it right now because ONEWE are back. Not 3WE. All 5 members are ONEWE are back. There's a brand new music, there's a brand new title track, there's a brand new EP out, and I'm so freaking excited. It feels like it's been an eternity since we've gotten a group comeback from ONEWE. Admittedly, it probably has been a little while because we had the English release Gravity during their enlistment. We had Still Here, which I believe was during some of their enlistments, and then, of course, before then was Universe. The song that I hold very near and dear to my heart. ONEWE are a K-band that I hold very near and dear to my heart for a couple of reasons. One, they do the ballad styles really well, and I love a good emotional ballad. But two, they were the group that provided a lot of emotional support for me back when I lost my grandfather during COVID. In fact, the day that, I was still living in America at the time, but the day that Universe dropped was the day that I got the news that my grandfather had passed away. And I remember just laying in bed and just listening to that song, watching that song, just listening to the album over and over and over again. And this having this really strange healing effect. Like listening to a rather sad, slow, emotional ballad made me, a person who was in a really emotionally vulnerable state, feel a lot better. And because of that, well, that's partially why I love ballads so much, but because of that, I have a tremendous amount of respect for ONEWE. And, well, the fact that all of them are back, I cannot be more excited about it. We had that little special drop with 3WE in the middle of last year, but it isn't the same when you don't have everyone together. So, we're going to check out Beautiful Ashes right now, fawn over that, well, inevitably going to fawn over that, and then of course Planet 9 Isotropy, the album. We're going to be doing an album listen for that after we're done here, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you're interested. But I've waffled your ears off for long enough. Let's roll the intro real quick. Here we go. I'm gonna need to go and update that K-band intro now, aren't I? Because QWER's had a release. I could probably find one for Hapayu, and then now ONEWE's got a brand new release. So looks like that K-band intro will be getting updated very shortly. But ONEWE's Beautiful Ashes. I have no idea what this is going to sound like. I always avoid spoilers, any audio teasers and stuff like that. I'm gonna be going in with a completely blank slate. And let's just enjoy some good music, shall we? Here we go! 아직도 생각이 나 처음 들어보는 너의 목소리 설명할 수 없어 날 보며 웃는 게 마음이 힘든 건 Oh, it's gonna be an emotional song again, isn't it? 그렇게 점점 내 곁을 I love that you can still hear the acoustic guitar going. I feel like that release came by really quick for some reason. Oh. That chilling held high note from Yongun. Yu-Gi-Oh vocals, hell yeah! Had a spectacular 2 solo releases while Yongun and Kanghyun were serving. I love the fact that we're getting 3 different vocal parts, like proper vocal parts in a ONEWE song now. I'm gonna turn the volume a little bit more. One thing that ONEWE's like vocal duo does so well. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna shut up. Kanghyun, do your thing, bud. Oh, he is so clean with it. But I was saying, the high vocal duo of Donghyun and Younghoon is spectacular because whenever they do a nice held high note, it's immediate goosebumps. Holy sustain! Oh, with the pause too! God, it's unbelievable how good both of them are at that flip. I'm gonna go through that again because I didn't say anything through that, I feel like. But, oh. Look, ONEWE, from my kind of like musical tastes, have always done this type of ballad well. It's, do I want to say this? For me, Hopi Polo is a close second, but for me, ONEWE probably have the best track record when it comes to doing that emotional ballad sound. They haven't had a miss for me when it comes to that really just gorgeous, really pretty, but really heartfelt and quite emotionally powerful like nice ballad. ONEWE are cream of the crop. They're so good at it. And even with a break, well, in between Gravity and Beautiful Ashes, they haven't lost any of that chemistry between each of the members. And in fact, this era actually has a really cool little change in that Gyuk has like big vocal moments now. I feel like he got inclusions here and there, you know, little sprinkles of, back then he would have been called Kia, right? Like little Kia vocal moments. But while Kanghyun and Younghoon were away, of course, Gyuk had his 2 solo releases, which were marvelous. We got to hear his vocal confidence really shine through. We got to hear his, admittedly, in this group lineup, super unique vocal color just really shine through. And of course, we had the little 3-way release with what was the one with Harin and Gyuk, and then Salty Boy with Donghyun and Gyuk. And it's just, we got to see his vocal progression just slowly evolve. And now ONEWE are a proper 3-part vocal group now. And I think that's spectacular because you have the really rich but just soul-piercingly pretty vocal of Younghoon. We've got the really treble-heavy but also soul-piercing pretty vocal of Donghyun. And then you've got the kind of lower, more neutral tone, but also can pull off the more intense emotions in Gyuk. All 3 of them are spread out throughout the song now. And there's that extra little bit of oomph, extra little bit of umami now that we've got 3 vocalists. Oh, spectacular. We're going again. And we're going to talk a lot. So, get ready. Thank you to the sound engineers for just letting Younghoon's voice just ring. Like, the reverb on this specific opening verse here, the way his voice rings is spectacular. It's the whole thing for me with Younghoon's voice is the fact that it feels like it just reverberates and rings forever. And they're not shying away from that. You have got the really pretty piano part, and then you've got the pretty big reverb effect on Younghoon's vocals, and it just rings. So you feel his very subtle vibrato on the tail end of his held notes, and you feel that kind of warble throughout the entire sustain, and it's freaking marvelous.
설명할 수 없어 날 보며 웃는 게 마음이 힘든 건 나 혼자서만 사랑을 느낄 때 그렇게 점점
And then, I mean, this is a tried and tested vocal combination so far. Honestly, his voice is so cool to listen to. Like, it's got a really cool amount of treble in it, and yet once he, puts some power behind it, the texture in his voice is just indescribably pretty to me, and such a great contrast to Younghoon's just like deeper, richer vocals. Oh my goodness. And then very subtle vocal harmonies already. This man right here has a voice of angels. Oh, how I was talking about his like sustain and that reverb and how he's got that soul-piercing high note. Just listen. I mean, there's admittedly some reverb added to it, but just listen to this high note and tell me it doesn't just go straight for the heart. Like, I miss that voice so much. And having Gyuk kind of take it away in the post-chorus with that more kind of neutral tone, because I think in terms of vocal range, he kind of sits in between Donghyung's like really treble heavy voice and Younghoon's really rich voice. He kind of just like, in terms of range, sits right in the middle, even though in terms of, I think, vocal color, he's much more in the neutral side of things. But he creates this perfect range balance right in the middle, and I love that we're hearing vocalist Gyuk now. Admittedly, this is a ballad, so I feel like rapper Gyuk might not have been as appropriate, but, it's the fact that we already had two spectacular vocalists. We have a third spectacular vocalist. Oh, they're going to be an unstoppable vocal force to be reckoned with. Oh my goodness. Also, Harin on the little fills. Really tasty fills in this song. Second verse, having, Dongmyung on keys. Very pretty, very treble heavy. The instrumentation in the background is no longer just that singular instrument anymore. In fact, it's taking like the polar opposite of his voice now. Treble heavy piano, treble heavy voice, but it's got like almost a muted kick drum type bass where it's low. And I think that contrast, it separates verse 1 from verse 2, but I think creates just a spectacular contrast between the two. And then once Gyuk with this kind of more middle range voice comes in, you add more of the middle bits. The song is kind of working in mirror with itself. Super high and super low, bring in the mid-range, bring the mid-ranges together. Or kind of meet in the middle, so to speak. That's very clever. Also very effective. And I can appreciate the fact that this riser into the pre-chorus isn't very big, because it allows for the release in the chorus to feel even bigger. Even though there is that, faint white noise, it rises up, it's not as big as you might expect, as they're trying to rein the song in. It's supposed to be a really pretty emotional ballad, right? They don't want to release it all at once because they're not going to have anywhere to go if they release it too early. I like the control. What's the little fill from Kanghyun on guitar too? Second time around? Before we get to you, sir, again, audio engineering team, thank you for adding that nice long reverb to the held note in the choruses. Twice, both times around, with Yonghoon and with Dongmyung, you just hear it, and it goes, and it extends. And the longer it extends into the ether, the more it gets at your heart. Alright, Kanghyun, I need you to shred, my guy. My one gripe about this song is I wish Kanghyun's solo was longer. It's such a pretty guitar solo. He almost dances on the fretboard a little bit. And because of it, his kind of scales and his runs are super clean to listen to. And like, he was kind of flying on that solo a little bit. I wanted to hear more of it. Angsty Gyuk, a la his solo work. I think that's a great inclusion in this bridge post-chorus element. I think this is technically a bridge now, but I think just in general, you feel the kind of emotions bubbling over, so to speak, now that we've passed the guitar solo, and the voices reflect that. And in fact, bringing Gyuk in to kind of add even more of the angst with that kind of that voice, that kind of voice is so well placed. Oh, I'm not gonna shut up about Yonghoon's vocals. I hope you've all realized that I'm never gonna shut up about Yonghoon's vocals. Do you hear that vibrato in that held note? Do you hear the length of that held note? Go again. Harin, do that drum fill again. Oh, that pause is so clean. That little kick up is so unfair. It's everything though. And honestly, yeah. Getting vocalist Gyuk on this song was one of the best decisions I think I've heard from a ONEWE release in a hot minute. Because his voice adds such a different side of the emotional aspect of it. Because Yonghoon and Dongmyung's vocals are freaking gorgeous. They're kind of like the sappy vocals in a way. They do that really well. but Gyuk brings in a different side of human emotion into the vocal line, I think. And because of it, I think it's hitting a different human emotion than what I'm used to being affected by listening to ONEWE music. And freaking, I have no complaints about this whatsoever. Apart from the fact that I wish Kang Hyun's guitar solo was longer, but that's just a me thing, because I love Kang Hyun's guitar playing. And yeah. Oh my goodness, I miss these guys so much, and they are still as good as I remember them being. In fact, they're better than I remember them being, and that's spectacular. But, of course, that's not it, is it? Because this drop was an album, Planet 9 Isotropy. Actually, let's find out how many B-sides are on there. It's a 6-track album, so we've got 5 B-sides to check out, which I'm going to do in 2 minutes time after I stock up on water and finish recording this one. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully my rambling didn't bore you too much, but hopefully you enjoyed watching along with me. One last request from me today: let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness to may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.